Welcome. Your art is a spell, and it will change your life and the world around you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Your Art is a Spell. I'm your host, Edgar Fabian Frias, and today we're going to be talking about something that's been pissing me off for years: the deliberate financial disempowerment of artists. So here's the thing. I've had to start from a zero in two different careers. First as a psychotherapist, and then as an artist. And in both fields, I experienced the exact same pattern. Graduate programs charging tens of thousands of dollars, then sending us into the world with absolute zero financial education. No business skills, no negotiation tactics, nothing about contracts, just nothing. And it hit me. This is not an accident. This is systematic. Think about it. I've literally had to work for free for 2 years as a therapist. As an artist, I've been expected to take exposure instead of payment and to gratefully accept exploitative adjunct positions that can barely cover rent. And I bet many of you hearing this episode or watching have experienced the same thing. So, what's really going on here? Let me break it down. In both of the graduate programs I attended, asking about money was treated like it was beneath the curriculum. When I asked professors to talk about contracts or negotiation tactics, at UC Berkeley during my MFA, I was met with dismissal, as if wanting to survive financially was somehow corrupting my artistic purity. Here's something wild. My cohort at UC Berkeley was the first ever cohort made up entirely of BIPOC students, mostly from low income to middle income backgrounds. We needed this knowledge, and the program refused to provide it. Yes, there were a couple of amazing teachers who dedicated some of their own personal time to share some feedback and some information, but it was not a part of the curriculum. Now I'm going to talk about how some institutions subtly or not so subtly reinforce financial illiteracy. One, they send contracts as PDFs instead of as edible documents, implying that you can't negotiate, that the contract is a done deal. They create power dynamics where asking for fair pay is seen as being ungrateful or difficult. They perpetuate the myth that financial savvy and creativity are somehow incompatible. And this lands particularly hard on women, people of color, and queer and trans artists who are already fighting against systemic undervaluing of our work. This is already the case here in America, and I know in a lot of other countries as well. Let me share something shocking, or maybe not so shocking, depending on where you're coming from. Most artists, even if they go through to get their MFAs, are not taught about money. Yet we're all expected to navigate capitalism. Often as self-employed contractors, we're spending upwards of $100,000 on degrees that deliberately exclude the very information that we need to survive. And this keeps us vulnerable, especially now with economic instability, AI disruption, and targeted attacks on diversity initiatives. This is just too much. And I've seen how this plays out in real time. There are artists who don't know how to read or negotiate contracts, artists who don't know how to budget for their actual needs, artists who don't know how to account for their time or for their materials, build financial stability between projects. And then what happens? We burn out, we subsidize our own work, we take on side hustles that drain our creative energy, or worst of all, we just stop making art. And this creates the system where only those with family wealth or other privileges can sustain artistic careers long term. Think about the artists you've seen get discovered in their 60s or 70s. Suddenly, their work skyrockets in value when they're in hospice care. The system profits from our creativity, but ensures that we don't have the financial literacy to profit from it ourselves when we are healthy and alive. I had a moment when I finally realized that no one was coming to save me. No one was coming to give me the information that I needed to be a financially successful artist. No institution was going to teach me what I needed to know. So I decided to get my own financial education. I essentially have given myself an MBA through books, podcasts, courses, and a lot of trial and error. And here's what's really been shocking to me. Managing money and being a business owner is actually incredibly creative as a practice. It's iterative, it's experimental, it's exactly what we as artists are really good at. That realization was transformative. The myth that you either need to be a creative brain or a money brain is absolute bullshit, designed to keep us financially disempowered. And I say this as someone who really believed that for a long time, that because I was creative, I could not be financially astute. And once I started to treat my art practice as a business, knowing my worth, understanding my finances, learning to negotiate, everything started to change. I went from paycheck to paycheck anxiety to having a month ahead buffer. I started to see my income grow year after year, and I finally have been able to put money aside for investments and retirement. More importantly, I took back control of my time and my value. So I'm going to share just a couple of tools that have changed everything for me around money. First, there's YNAB, You Need a Budget. This app completely transformed my relationship with money. It's a flexible budgeting system that works with your creative life, not against it. Using YNAB, I finally broke out from the paycheck to paycheck cycle and built a financial buffer that gives me peace of mind and also helps me have money to invest in my businesses and my personal life. I'm going to put a link in the description of this episode that gives you a free month to try out YNAB. There's also a wonderful podcast called Budget Nerds that dives deep into using YNAB, the theory behind it, its ethos, and how to use it effectively. Second is the profit first method. If you're running your art as a business, which you absolutely should be if you're trying to make money off of it, this system will change your business life. The book by Mike McCallowitz breaks down a simple but revolutionary approach to managing cash flow. And there are 3 more books that I cannot recommend enough. The Financial Feminist by Tori Dunlap, The Personal MBA by Josh Kaufman, and a surprisingly interesting book about contracts for artists and other creatives by Sarah Conley Odenkirk. Remember, finance is not a monolith. Find voices that resonate with you, but also explore diverse perspectives. Just like art, there are so many approaches to finance and to managing money. It is actually a creative practice, unlike much of the messaging we've received growing up. Look, I want to be really clear about something. I've gone from being terrified, avoidant of money, to feeling completely in control of it. I know what money is, how to make more of it, how to manage it, and how to use it to create the life and the art practice that I want. This is not about selling out or compromising your values. It's about empowering yourself. It's about sustainability. It's about ensuring that your creative voice can continue to be heard. If you're someone who's been afraid of money or finance, I want you to hear this. You can have a good relationship with money. You deserve financial literacy. And your art practice will be stronger, not weaker, when you're not constantly stressed out about survival. Oh, and if you're someone who's dealing with what I call punk damage, that anti-capitalist mindset that makes you feel guilty about wanting financial stability, drop a comment below. I might make a whole episode about working through that specifically because it's something I know very well and it's a topic that's very close to my heart. Thank you for watching. And remember, your financial education is a part of your artistic practice. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And your art is a spell and it will change your life and the world around you. Bye. Thank you for watching Your Art is a Spell. Please sign up for our newsletter by going to yourartisaspell.com. I will also be creating an episode in a couple of weeks where I will be answering your art-related, career, education, witchy, whatever it comes to mind questions on this episode. You can send me questions by sending me an email or by going to speakpipe.com/yourartisaspell. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want to invite you to subscribe and to like this video and leave a comment. And if you are listening on a podcast streaming platform, I want to invite you to subscribe there and to leave me a review. I will be picking someone in the second to last episode of season 1 to receive a free 30-minute tarot reading with me from the names of people who leave me reviews. And remember, your art is needed now more than ever. We need your voice, your presence, and your power here on this planet.